These next problems, we're going to start graphing them. Still asking us to find the same two things, the period and the phase shift, and then we're going to use that information in order to graph. We will also find the half point as well, although it typically does not ask you to find that, but we are going to find it later in terms of getting our key points. Let's first start out by finding this information. The period is going to be, the formula for it is pi over b. So in this case, there's a 1 in front of the x, and so in this case, the period is just going to be pi. So again, I just did pi divided by the 1 in front of the x, and that's it. It's that one. All right, now phase shift, because this is a tangent, we have the c over b, but then we have that extra minus part that comes afterwards. So let's write that formula down out here so we can see that, and we'll go ahead and start putting in the information for that one. So this is pi over 2b is the extra part that you have on the end. This is only for tangent graphs. If it was a cotangent, you would not have that minus part on the end. You would just have c over b. Okay, but this one does require you to have the extra part in the end. Okay, so this one, there's a plus sign that's there, and so your c on top is going to end up being negative. Okay, it's always, again, opposite sign there, so you're going to do minus pi over 4 divided by the number in front of the x, which in this case is a 1. Then we have to do minus pi over 2 times b. And well, that's going to be 2 times 1 because, again, the b value here is 1. Then we're just going to subtract that, and that's going to give you your phase shift. What we have for this one is negative pi over 4 minus pi over 2. That's going to give you negative 3 pi over 4. Remember, your phase shift is always going to be the first key point that's on your graph. Now we have to find the other 5 key points that come after that, and that's why you want to find the half point. Let's find that underneath here, even though it didn't originally ask for it. Let's find the half point. The half point is, it's always period divided by 2. Our period here is pi that we found earlier. We divided by 2, so it's pi over 2. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take you take the phase shift and you just keep adding the half point to it. Now, it's better if we can get common denominators between these two. So I'm going to multiply the half point by 2 to get 2 pi over 4. That way, when we add all these together and to get our key points, we can just have the same denominator and it'll be easier to add together. So let's do that up here and get our key points. Okay, so first we have, this is our first one, of course, negative 3 pi over 4, but we have to find 4 other key points. Negative 3 pi over 4, we're going to add the half point to it, 2 pi over 4. And by adding that, we get negative pi over 4. That's going to be your second key point. Now this, hopefully then you have all this down here, so let me go ahead and put PS, phase shift is equal to negative 3 pi over 4. I'm going to erase this for extra space. And we'll generate our other key points here. All right, so next we're just going to keep adding our, this was our first key point, and we're adding 2 pi over 4 to it every time. So now that I have this one, what I'll do is negative pi over 4, I'm going to add another half point to it. And we're going to do this a total of 4 times. So 1, 2, we have 2 more we'll do. This is pi over 4. Pi over 4 plus 2 pi over 4 is 3 pi over 4. 3 pi over 4 plus 2 pi over 4 is 5 pi over 4. So now we have this one and then these. That's going to be our 5 key points. Let's put them all down on a graph. Okay, so first we've got over here negative 3 pi over 4, and we have pi over 4, negative pi over 4, positive pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, and 5 pi over 4. Our center line is going to go through right there. So if I have some negatives, I usually just put those down first, and then you can draw the y-axis through whatever makes the most sense where it goes. Obviously it goes between here because it's between a negative and a positive, so that would be your y-axis. Now the way that this is set up, the formulas are set up to where your phase shift is always going to occur at an asymptote, vertical asymptote. The third one is going to be a vertical asymptote, and the last one is a vertical asymptote. It's always going to be that way when you use these formulas for finding the phase shift, and with the key points it always works the same way. Your phase shift will always be the first vertical asymptote you have, and then there's one that goes through the third key point and the fifth key point. It's always going to be done that way. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw in the graph itself. Now looking back at the base graphs for this, tangent graphs, so we don't have any negatives or anything happening there. So the graph is going to be kind of increasing as you go from left to right. So it's going to go through here, curve through there, and go up like this. We have another one that curves and goes through and looks like that. This would be your completed graph. And so for these kind of problems, again, following these formulas that we talked about before for your period and your phase shift, it automatically sets it up this way to where you will have 2 full periods, because we do see 2 cycles here when we drew those in. So this is going to be your final graph.